What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my horror corner. I'm Drop Dead Fred. Hope you're all doing well and having a fantastic whatever time it is. We are here late night chilling. It is Brews and Flicks, baby. Let's go. Alright, and if you're watching, Tan, thank you so much for introducing me to this movie. You suggested it, you hosted it, and, Summer and I watched it with you, and since then, I watched it about 4 times. I fucking loved it, and yeah, here are my thoughts. I just can't believe I've never seen it or heard about it before. Now, people always talk about this cover. They're like, oh yeah, I remember seeing this cover, but I didn't watch it. But I don't even remember the fucking cover. You know what? Speaking of covers, one of the most memorable covers I had ever seen in my life, especially when I was a kid going to the fucking movie store, is the Jack Frost fucking cover. Not the Michael Keaton movie. The fucking Killer Snowman one. That fucking holographic cover, along with the Uncle Sam movie. Anyways, I digress. So, today we are talking about The Night Flyer that came out in 1997, and it was directed by Mark Pavia, and it stars Miguel Ferreira. Now, I remember this dude from freaking, Okay, so recently I watched Twin Peaks. That's where I really remember him from. But I remember, I was like looking up his IMDb and stuff. It's like, I know him from some other stuff. Yeah, RoboCop. But fucking Blank Check. That fucking Disney movie, dude. The movie also stars Julianne Whistler, Michael H. Moss, and Dan Monahan. And if you're not too familiar with the story, basically what it is we're following around Richard Dees. There's a joke in there somewhere. That's right, his name is Richard Dees. So just let that sink in. And if you can figure out a joke there, just let me know in the comments. So what he is, he's a journalist that if you ever stand in line, especially when I was younger, you stand in line and you would see those fucking ridiculous magazines that were like, oh, aliens stole my baby. Something fucking really obscure tabloid. They're still fucking making them, I'm sure. But that's what he's a journalist for one of those like places called the Inside View. And he's oh, excuse me. Who am I saying excuse me to? The fucking chair. But anyways, he's like the top person there. He's always making the front pages, or he was as of recently. Every one of his stories was always a hit. Like when they needed somebody to get the story right and get it good and fucking spicy, this was the dude they called, Richard Dees. But as of lately, his stories have been kind of lacking. And he gets called in for what seems to be a string of fucking grisly murders that are all tying to this pilot by the name of Dwight Renfield. And there's signature traits that are tying with these murders. There's a pilot driving a black Skymaster plane with a certain tail number, and all the victims have like these gnarly puncture wounds right over here with all their blood drained. And at first he blows it off. He's like, Whoops, I am knocking everything over. But at first he's blowing it off. He's like, yeah, this is fucking, vampires aren't fucking doing shit. But then another murder happens with this older couple, which was very eerie. I love that part. But anyways, another murder happens, and he's like, they call him back in. They're like, you know what? Come on, this is it. This has your name on it. They even bring up the fact that his name is Dwight Renfield, which is right here, dudes. Well, he's Dwight Fry. The actor is Dwight Fry, who plays Renfield in the movie Dracula. They even bring that up. Fucking Stephen King, dude. And, he's very similar to the fucking name of the actor and the character name. And this is a story just for him. And eventually he's in on it. He's like, fuck it. But we're also introduced to another character by the name of Catherine. And I love this fucking woman, and she was awesome, I thought. And I felt so bad for her throughout the movie because she's introduced and she's given this story because, he doesn't want it at first. But then later on, his boss calls him in with like, there's another murder happened and you gotta do it. And the guy's like, fuck it. But his boss says, there's one little problem. And he calls in, Catherine, and basically takes the story back from her, demands that she hand over the files, all the shit, basically all the stuff that she's been working on. She has to give it to fucking this dude, and I'm just sitting there like, damn, that's. Oh, I bet it was like that, and it probably still is. It's so fucked up, dude. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. I need to know that's fucked up. Damn, that fucking times, man. The times.
Those were the days.
So yeah, he's basically taking the case from her, and he's on the trail of this vampire that is basically flying to different towns and killing a bunch of people, draining their blood, and then moving on to a different town. And it's kind of brought up why, he's kind of hard to track. He's like basically hypnotizing people, and there's like barely a paper trail there. But our fucking dude, Richard Dees, is able to fucking crack the case with the help of Catherine. Because I need to know that. I need to note that. She did a lot of the fucking work and got screwed over, and I hated that part of it. But hey, man, that's the way it is. And right off the bat, you're not supposed to like this guy. You're not. You are not supposed to like this dude. He is 100% a piece of shit. He just exploits people's feelings for a picture and a story. There's a part in a flashback that I'll get into in just a second where, this lady's breaking down because she's telling a story about what happened to her friend that got fucking murdered. And she's crying, and you just see he's recording the whole conversation, and she's like, hey, will you look this way? And snaps a picture. He's like, thank you. And just takes off while she's there, and you see it. She's just like, the fuck? But yeah, he's a piece of shit. There's a part also where, he goes to the gravestone of somebody that got killed, somebody that was murdered, and he wants a good picture, so he cuts his own hand and he smears blood just so he can get a good picture. I'm like, this dude is fucking. You're not supposed to like this guy, but I love that. He's not the fucking hero of the movie at all, and Catherine is, for sure, to a point, but I'll get to that later on. But anyways, all right, hold on, I'm feeling a little parched again. So some of the eeriest parts and like just creepy vibes from this movie were like the flashback scenes. Basically, the movie is following Dees all throughout this little investigation. He's making bribes to check out fucking, morgues. He's fucking investigating, like interviewing a few local people that were close to the people that were murdered. And each one of these people have a story. And that's where it's really eerie, because it cuts into a flashback. And really quick, it does one of those things where it's like,
Not that night. No, sir. Not that night.
I fucking love the 90s. But one of the first good fucking eerie moments we get in this movie is at the beginning. And it's basically this conversation between Richard Dees and Catherine. He's basically telling her about what happened to why she's working here, the person before her. And this lady was like working there for like a year or so, and she started just believing into all this shit. And she was found dead in her tub, with a paper bag, and like it was I think it was like suicide supposedly, but it was just fucking nuts. And you just see this creepy image of her in the bathtub, and then Dees comes up and just snaps a picture like it was nothing. And he even said something like, it was good. It was a good title. It was a good, like, for like the front page. Oh man, that first flashback really sets the tone for where these flashbacks go. Because later on, it's not a flashback, but the first time we see this older couple that does take a little play into the movie, it's very creepy. We see this older lady, very nice makeup and everything. She's sitting outside. She hears a yell. She gets off her fucking porch, and her husband right there is like, gets thrown against the window. And the whole time she's just kind of in a trance. It's fucking so eerie. But then we get an interview with some like mechanic or somebody, somebody else, some other townsfolk dude, and he tells a story about the older couple when he saw them the day before or so. They were acting very strange, and you get this the whole vibe of these are just what makes this movie really good. The flashbacks and the third act and Miguel Ferrer just make this fucking movie so good. But okay. This dude tells a flashback about he saw the elder couple. The husband looked like shit, but she looked great. And so he said, you know what? You might want to go check the beauty bar down the street. It's a hair salon. They're probably going to give you a lot more answers than I can. And we get another flashback there, explaining a little bit more about this old elder couple. Basically, this vampire comes into town and puts people in trances, like familiars almost, where later on he fucking comes and kills them and then leaves. And this elder couple is special because they have an airfield in their farm or whatever. They have a little landing strip. So I just love that concept of this vampire fucking just rolling to town in an airplane at night, which is why it's called the Night Flyer. And it's fucking just blew me away. But these okay, I'll just shut up. That's all I'll say about the flashbacks. There's a few more, but also I got not huge, but there was like some Twin Peaks vibes right there when there's parts where he's flying the plane D's because he owns his own plane. He's flying it and he's got a tape recorder and he's tape recording everything. He's got glasses on. He's in the air. And I'm just like, dude, it just feels like Twin Peaks. There's some songs in the movie that definitely give off that vibe. I fucking loved it. You know, not all the songs. The soundtrack was absolutely great too. But there's some songs with some moments that were just like, this fucking feels like Twin Peaks, dude. Man, that Miguel Ferrer is unbelievable in this movie. Just the way he portrays this fucking dude that's just like heartless, and he's probably been through shit. You know, what do I know? But it all builds up to this fucking amazing ending and third act where he ends up teaming up with Catherine and then screws her fucking over. Of course, what do you expect from this dude? He teams up with her. She gets all this information and he fucking locks her in a closet. Fuck you, dude. They figured out where they needed to go and he's just like, I'm not fucking sharing this shit with you. You lost. But while he's flying in the air and everything, I'm getting so fucked up. I cannot do this right now. Oh my god, I'm almost done. I love the ending of this movie. The way it cycles back to something he said. There's this philosophy he has, and he told Catherine in the beginning.
Never believe what you publish. And never publish what you believe.
And that definitely takes into play in the third act. Because he ends up in the little airport where Dwight Renfield is. He lands, he sees his fucking plane, he starts taking pictures, he hears a scream, he heads inside. It is a fucking bloodbath in this airport. All these bodies on the floor. There's kids, there's older people. It's fucking nuts. And he starts snapping pictures and at some point it's too much. And he runs to the bathroom to fucking puke. Yeah, fuck you. Puke, motherfucker. Sorry, I'm getting mad. He's a piece of shit. I love him. It's love-hate. You love how good of an asshole he portrays. But anyways, I digress. He goes to the bathroom and throws up, and it's fucking the best scene in the movie. The best scene in the freaking movie. So he's throwing up. He's washing off. He's looking through the mirror. He's not looking behind him. He can only see behind him through the reflection of the mirror. And then all of a sudden he hears some noise behind him. And you just see like a stream of piss, but blood. Blood. Like somebody's just pissing blood. No body. You just see like somebody's taking a piss, but they're just pissing blood. And then you just see the fucking handle for the fucking urinal. But then they switch to the POV of like if you were actually turned around and you just see the legs of somebody, you just know, oh shit, dude. And then as he's walking through passes by each mirror, each one fucking cracks. And it's this great confrontation. And the whole time, Deez never turns around. The fucking vampire is like right behind him talking and everything. Makes him fucking break his camera for evidence. Lets him live. Lets him live and tells him, just fucking back off. That's it. Break your fucking shit and just back the fuck off. He threatens him in a very scary way. Don't get me wrong. I just hate that he just kills a fucking dude that's been chasing you, making your life hell, trying to expose who you are to kill him. Deez being the fucking person he is, and it's in his nature to have to know. And I can I can kind of understand that point of view for sure. But he chases after the fucking vampire and he's like, I need to see your face. And he even calls him out. He's like, you know what? Of course you need to see my face. It's in your fucking nature. Your whole career and life has been built around this type of thing. Why would you not? And he goes up to him and he fucking shows him his face. I love the design of this fucking vampire. He's got two huge fangs coming out in like the oddest places. His mouth like opens super wide, and he's got like a fang coming out from here and from right here. So he's like, and that makes sense. He's like, probably turns his head to the side and like punctures the fucking necks, because the necks are always like huge bolt holes, fucking puncture wounds. And they're always like right here, and it makes sense once you fucking see the design of the vampire. Fuck, I gotta pee. And then, of course, you know, he screams and everything, and for some reason, he makes him drink his blood. He's, you know, oh, I gotta pee so bad. Hold on. I had to stop. Like, I could not hold that anymore. I tried so hard. That might be a little fucking too much information, but anyways, where were we at? So yeah, anyways, Deez is forced to drink the blood, and then he has like these crazy visions of all these dead people like coming back to life. This part is haunting. The makeup, the eyes, the fangs of all these fucking dead people coming back to life was legit, genuinely fucking creepy as hell. And of course, he's all freaking out. He grabs an axe. Shout out to The Shining. Grabs an axe and he starts swinging at all these dead people, freaking the fuck out. Man, we got a classic situation in most horror movies. Like, I think the Wolfman does this, but of course it has to end on a tragic note. Police come in and they're trying to tell him to calm down, and Catherine shows up right after the police, and he just loses it and charges towards them. I mean, they fucking shoot him. It sucks, but they shoot him. And of course, you know, whatever. They probably did not need to shoot him as many times, to be fucking honest. They shot him a lot. They could have shot him one time. He went down that first shot. Just saying. Just saying. What's great about this ending, because, yeah, he dies right there, but it's not over. You know, Catherine, she's super distraught. She's freaking out. She's like, oh my God, what the fuck? And she looks out the window and she sees the fucking vampire walking back to his fucking airplane. And he turns around and he looks at her, and she's there right there, and she's just looking like almost in disbelief, which of course. And then she just repeats back Dee's philosophy.
Never believe what you publish. Never publish what you believe.
And then she turns back, she goes back to Dee's body, and the cops are just, you know, who is this? Who's this guy? This sick motherfucker. And she's just like, that's Richard Dees. We call him the Night Flyer. And it ends on this tabloid of fucking Richard Dees dead, and it says Night Flyer defanged. They fucking, it blew me away, dude. Just oh fuck, that was awesome ending for this movie. And it's almost like she's like these, like it was like this arc. I feel like the movies, yeah, it's movies. Okay, this is getting away from me. I need to shut it up. This movie was absolutely amazing. I loved it. I loved Miguel Ferrer. I loved the Catherine actress. She was awesome. Julianne Whistle. I didn't have the notebook in front of me. It just blew me away. With that being said, this made me want to watch a lot more Stephen King adaptations. So I just wrote down the stuff that I've seen. Let's go. So for movies, I've seen It, the newer one, The Shining, Carrie, Cujo, The Dead Zone, Children of the Corn, Silver Bullet, Maximum Overdrive, Stand By Me, Pet Sematary, Graveyard Shift, The Lawnmower Man, which I looked up. Yeah, I guess that's based off of Stephen King's short story. The Mangler, which I saw last year. It was fucking awesome. I believe that has Robert Englund in it. Oh, Green Mile, Secret Window, 1408, and In the Tall Grass. And then there's TV miniseries, the ones that I've seen, at least so far, and I want to see more. Salem's Lot, It, The Tommyknockers. I've seen like an episode of The Stand. Maybe a 2.5 episodes. I know I've seen one episode for sure. Or like one part of that. And I saw this movie a long time ago when I was young. I thought it was a movie, but I guess it's like a little miniseries. Fucking The Langoliers. Oh. I'm sure that shit does not hold up. I remember some dude like ripping paper to like feel good. The CGI have those like fucking Langoliers look stupid. Something about a blind girl. Anyways, what is some of your favorite Stephen King adaptations? For sure, 1408 is a big one of mine. The Shining, of fucking course. That's 100. Oh, sorry. I keep saying sorry when I hit my mic. Who am I saying sorry to? But yeah, The Shining, of course. Carrie. There's so many good ones, but there's a lot that I haven't seen either. One that I really want to watch is Christine. It's John Carpenter and fucking Stephen King story. Like, what the fuck? All right, with that being said, if you're still watching and just listen to me ramble on, because I am drunk, like low key, don't tell anybody. Well, thank you so much either way for listening to me ramble on about this fucking movie. I've been wanting to talk about it for a minute. I know I'm a little drunk and it's kind of incoherent what I've been saying, but you can tell by my general expressions that this movie fucking just blew me away in the most 90s cheesy fucking noir vibe with some great vampire fucking storylines, great practical effects with the fucking makeup at the end, amazing performance by Miguel Ferrer, and just thank you for watching. Happy Spookies.